What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is January 31st of 2018. Well, folks, it's time for a much-needed daily update here on the DataDash channel. I apologize, it's been a few days, guys. Again, it's been one technical difficulty after the other in regards to traveling, so I do apologize. However, today we have got a lot to recap on and cover. So we're going to be covering the standard things as always. We're going to be taking a look at market valuations as well as doing some price analysis on the market leaders. But along with that, we have a very big headline to dive into, and that is Tether and the controversy surrounding the new CFTC issued subpoena on Tether Limited. So we're going to be definitely talking about that, as well as a positive headline at the end of it in regards to something else other than Tether. But first and foremost, real quick, guys, I just want to let you all know I'm going to be attending my first ever cryptocurrency conference here in beautiful Singapore at the Blockchain Economic Forum. So if you are in the area and are interested in going, please check down in the description. I'll have a discount code for tickets if they're still available. If not, however, I will be doing a live stream as well as getting some of the video footage from when I speak and upload it to YouTube. So, enough rambling on. If you guys are interested in that, please check it out. But I want to go ahead and talk about what's on the minds of so many people right now in the cryptocurrency space, and that is the recent kind of FUD that's been spewing in and the downside that we've seen. It just doesn't seem like December anymore, does it, guys? Well, I will go ahead and dive into this and make sense of it, guys. Again, I don't want you all to panic one way or the other towards FOMOing or FUDing, and we'll get a consistent image on all the controversy that's been going on as we go throughout the video and look towards Tether. But as of right now, market valuations in my mind, I think, are going to tip on the lower end. I think we've been talking about this since early January as well as February, and in regards to our top 3 coin video. As we step into the month of February, there's going to be a general tone in this market, guys. It's going to be a month of consolidation, a month of correction, a month where we move either to the side or slightly downwards as we correct a lot of the overvalued cryptocurrencies in this market. We got to be fair, guys. December was a killer month, but with all exuberance that can come, and exuberance can make up the difference in just a few days. And those principles don't change when we go from one market cycle to the other. They're still there. They just wait for the same old patterns, a catalyst to bring things down, which I think is what we're seeing in regards to Tether. So again, I think we're going to see valuations chop down a little bit. In fact, we might see things go through on a full 50% correction. Now, markets generally peaked around $830 billion in valuation. And because of that, I think we could see something along the lines of a cut down to $400 billion in valuation. And seeing as we're sitting around $500 billion, it's a good 25% haircut in valuation from where we are right now. So I think it's pretty expected that we might see it. However, again, there's no guarantee that we're going to go down directly to $400 billion. And I've started to learn more and more that market cap is less of an indicator in regards to trying to measure crypto markets. What has become a really good tool of measurement, and this is something that I've continuously gone back to as we look towards each daily update, and that is the market dominance indicator. And guys, I don't know if it was a self-fulfilling prophecy or not, but we were on the ball in regards to looking out for the 25% on other cryptocurrencies, all cryptocurrencies excluding the top 10. And we saw how now Bitcoin is starting to flatten out, and we're also seeing other coins start to double top and turn downwards. So what does this all mean? This is again going towards what I talked about in my top 3 coin videos, guys, in regards to Bitcoin being my favorite play for this month. I know there's also Rayblox and Icon, which I think are going to perform much better than other altcoins. However, Bitcoin itself, in my mind, is the best play at this moment. And it's the reason why I switched out a lot of my altcoin trading positions into Bitcoin. The reason I did this is because I think this is going to be a month of security, of correction, where people want to take secure positions and lock in their profits from the crazy run-up that we had back in December. Still, I think a lot of people are consolidating and taking positions that they have gained from in regards back to December all through the month of January. And I think we're still going to see that in February as we still have a FUD case in the market, as we still see a little bit of selling. So because of that, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of a curve in market dominance to the upside in regards to Bitcoin. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. I think other coins are going to correct a little bit, as well as some of the market leaders, and some of that dominance is going to come back into Bitcoin. Do I really have a target for it yet? Not exactly, but I can tell you all it's probably going one direction, and that's up. So that's why I'm excited for it, and that's why I'm betting my money on Bitcoin in this case. Just to get a good picture for you guys. I know my little camera can get in the way sometimes, but that's the general, the white line is what I'm talking about in regards to the market dominance. I think it's going to go downwards, and I think that we're going to see Bitcoin start to retest towards higher levels over the coming weeks going into the month of February. So, speaking of Bitcoin, I want to go ahead and start doing some market price analysis on the market leaders. So what's my take on Bitcoin? Well, I was hoping that Bitcoin would hold around the 100-day moving average, but hey, I like a discount as much as the next guy, and we all can obviously tell that there was a huge FUD case yesterday in regards to Tether, and because of that, it pushed not only general markets lower, but Bitcoin lower as well. So, seeing as we've broken away from the 100-day moving average, I think it's obviously clear that we're going steadfast towards the 200-day. The volume came in the other day, and because of that, the price moved with it. And I think that this would be something that's very healthy for Bitcoin, because with most corrections in the past, we've either pulled back to the 50-day, the 100-day, or in a very rare case, close towards the 200-day, back almost towards, I think, the beginning of the year in 2017. So because of that, I think this would be extremely healthy for Bitcoin. I think it would be good to have a correction down to the 200-day and to hold along and have a few bounces off the 200-day. Now, if we break below that, we might be entering into a prolonged cryptocurrency bear market for the next few months, but I really don't see that happening. I think the exuberance, for a lack of a better term, is still there, but we're having, again, what every market has after a ridiculously crazy bull run, and that's a period of correction, a period of sanity coming back into things. And I think you're seeing that with Bitcoin. But if the case is that Bitcoin's only going to drop to around 8,800, that's not too much of a bearish case. That's a little bit of downside in the grand scheme of things. After that, I think Bitcoin will hold there for a while, and maybe towards the exit of February going into March, we might see some upside price action. But again, that's what I'm currently looking for. I think Bitcoin is one of the best bets in this market. But betting against Bitcoin, a lot of people have been talking about Ethereum, and they've asked me to give my opinion on it. Well, to be fair with you all, after this crazy run-up we had in December with altcoins, Ethereum had a fantastic run-up, and when we were in the middle of January here, I have to be fair, I thought that we would see Ethereum correct back down. I was going a little bit on, not a bearish side, but a little bit of a short-term correction phase with Ethereum, and I was thinking that we'd have a correction back down to this common support level, and then we'd move up to higher levels potentially. However, we didn't even see Ethereum come down to any drastic degree. It couldn't even come down to 8 million Satoshis. In fact, it started to curve back up and test towards new highs compared to Bitcoin for the past few months. Really back ever since we had the run up in June. And I always like to turn towards historical price action. As we can see here, guys, it seems like Ethereum's repeating the past. When we got around the 6 million Satoshi range, things started going parabolic, and then of course we had the cupping and price action, the resistance around 10 million Satoshis, and then a continued rally higher towards 15 million. And it looks like Ethereum is steadfast and testing towards that level. The reason why I think this is happening is because I take a look at what happened with Ripple over the past few months, and it looks like we went back to those all-time Bitcoin comparative highs. So because of that, I think Ethereum is repeating as well. I think Ethereum is going to take its test towards 15 to 16 million Satoshis. However, to be fair with you all, I'm not betting on this in any large regard. I don't have any big trades on Ethereum. But to be fair, the technicals are standing there, and if you're looking for a little bit of a high-risk play in this market, there might be some other daredevils out there in this market that seems to be very risk-averse. So again, if you think the opportunity's there, I would definitely maybe consider a trade on it, but keep your stops short, guys. Keep it very tight. You do not want to take a lot of risk with this because you are buying on the higher end, much like it would be with buying any of these altcoins in this market. Alrighty, speaking of Ripple though, as we were talking about earlier, Ripple finally having a nice scaled back correction and making contact yet again with the 50-day. To be fair with you all, again, I'm still not playing with Ripple here. It's good to see it on the 50-day, and if it can hold there, it might be a good technical sign for a trade. But with all the FUD that's in the market, it's just roughly holding on that 50-day. We haven't had a breakout candle away from it. And until we see that kind of exuberance or confidence come back into the price, I think personally we're going to see this drop down below if we get a good sell-off day or two from all the FUD in the market, with Ripple coming down to 80,000 Satoshis over the next week or so. So I'm not touching it right now. I think that's the case for Ripple. I'm not trying to be a perma bear on it, but that's just my personal opinion on it. Next up, Bitcoin Cash. I think Bitcoin Cash, again, is something that we want to look for as a longer swing trade over the next few weeks. Again, keep an eye on this going into February, guys. What I want to see is this break below the 100-day and find support on this lower line and continue to confirm the wedging of the price. And if it does that, I'm going to look for this to play as an optimistic play going into later February or into early March. So I'm still keeping my eye on it. I'm keeping patient, but not making any serious moves right now. AWTC, Cardano, going through on the wedge, not to the upside, but to the downside. So I think obviously we're going to see this come down back to the 50-day moving average. And on a worst case, if we really start to see FUD pour into the market, you might see it come down to the 100 days it starts to curve up here. Again, not making any kind of bearish case for Cardano. I like it. It's at a nice discount and correction, and it's USD compared to where it was back in December. However, at the same time, it has had a nice parabolic run up all through the month of both November and December. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this if we get a nice discount on it. Not making any trades on it right now. And one that many of you out there have been requesting I cover more often is Litecoin. Now, Litecoin itself has been, showing some really interesting price action here over the past few days. We not only had, obviously, the parabolic run-up, that was very fast back in December, but along with that as well, we've been able to hold the majority of the gains in Litecoin. And along with that as well, we've had 3 serious times where Litecoin has found support on a flattening 50-day. And this to me looks like a very bullish sign right now in regards to Litecoin. And if it continues to hold here and we can get a nice breakout candle that tests towards 18 million Satoshis, this could be a good trade. Now keep in mind again, I want to check a lot of these altcoin positions, guys. You are buying towards higher territory. And I don't tend to like to buy at highs. I like to buy at lows, where really the only player right now that meets that target is Bitcoin. So because of that, I'm still sticking mainly with Bitcoin, but you might have some strength come back into these market leaders, guys. They might hold out, and I think that Litecoin is showing some good signs here on a technical basis as a trader. Again, I don't like to buy high, but this is garnering my interest here. So, again, market leaders looking relatively strong for the most part, but I'm still betting on the plays for the longer term of this month, and that is Bitcoin in my mind. All right, guys? So, enough rambling on the technical side of things. Let's talk about what all of you are genuinely concerned about, and that is the whole Tether debacle. That is the concerns in regards to the recent subpoena issued by the CFTC on Tether Limited, the company that runs Tether. So I know many of you out there have been keeping up to date with this and know practically everything about it and probably just want to hear my opinion on it, but some of you out there might be new to it. Some of you might not know that we've talked about this for quite some time on the Data Dash channel. I think we covered it back in November, but this has been a serious topic of controversy over the past few months, and I think it's very important to take a middle-down approach to it, so I'll try not to ramble too hard. However, to give you all a brief summary as to what Tether itself is, for those of you who don't know, Tether is a pegged one-to-one cryptocurrency that supposedly has a dollar back behind each Tether in circulation. So it's a way where you can hold a cryptocurrency that acts as a dollar and trade it on a variety of different exchanges for a variety of different purposes. So, for example, here we can see that the total supply is 2.3 billion Tether, and these Tethers are used for people in regards to trading comparative to Bitcoin or altcoins on exchange without having to go through the process of actually cashing up to fiat or having to keep your money in Bitcoin, which it alone can be very volatile if you're trying to trade with other cryptos to cash. Along with that as well, it's used for a lot of things such as arbitrage trading as well. So for example, if there's a gap between the prices of Bitcoin to US dollars on a variety of other exchanges, or in this case USD Tether, people can actually move the Tether very quickly and do arbitrage trading, not only to make a sense of profit from the difference on exchanges, but along with that as well, in regards to Tether, there's something really nice about it, that it actually helps to mitigate the prices in regards to arbitrage trading. So it's actually quite helpful in that sense. So there's a lot of positive things in regards to Tether. There's a lot of good things that Tether does bring. As much as there's a lot of controversy, a lot of criticism around it, it is a very, very useful tool, especially in times of volatility. And that's why when everything's selling off, Tether's price shoots up a little bit. It goes a little bit above $1 sometimes. But generally speaking, it stays around $1. People respect it in that sense of valuation. It's pegged towards that area. So there's a lot of good use cases with Tether, and because of that, it's been pretty much going without question over the past few months by a lot of people. And as we can see, the supply has been ramping up at an exponential rate. However, there has been some serious doubts and criticism, which I'm going to get through throughout this video that we've talked about in the past. Some good things. I think a lot of people have been critical in regards to the question as to whether or not Tether actually has the capital in store that it claims it has to back up each pegged currency. To be fair with you all, I'm going to be flat out honest with you. I don't think they have the money. I think the mass majority of people, even people who use it and trade it, they don't believe they have the money. Again, it's just my opinion. But the thing is, we don't really have any evidence to prove me right or prove me wrong in that case, or anyone for that matter, because they haven't gone through an official audit, which is something they had promised for the past few months. Now, Tether Limited, the company that runs Tether, again, this is a centralized cryptocurrency. There's a trust factor in regards to Tether Limited having the money. They're very heavily tied with the same people who run Bitfinex. And a lot of people have been, digging through. There's been a whole community around this topic and the controversy with it, asking whether or not, Bitfinex is colluding and this and that, and Tether, and they're out to just make this false currency and stuff, and they don't have the cash. And to be fair with you all, I want to give the benefit of the doubt to Tether. I've been very critical on it, but I do want to take a middle down approach in this because I think everyone wants to jump the gun and be cynical on it. To be fair, Tether Limited as well as Bitfinex have been shut out of the traditional finance system. Obviously, no bank on a fundamental sense or government is going to work with Tether. It's clear. And there's fundamental reasons for that. Two ones. One, they're based in cryptocurrency. No one really wants to work with them. Second off, along with that as well, you're talking about a company like Tether Limited that's creating a dollar-backed currency that governments do not control. They control the currency, but they don't control the cryptocurrency Tether. So because of that, banks and governments obviously aren't going to work with them. And in this fact, I think they're actually going through the process of cracking down on them. Not to mention, accounting firms are not going to want to work with Tether here. And that goes back to the factor of it being a cryptocurrency. Any kind of auditing firm is going to want to stay about 10 feet away. And the recent breakup with Freeman LLP, which was the company that was working with Tether Limited to go through the auditing process, has not only left that process, the whole process has been dissolved, but this has left Tether stranded here. There's no real auditing of their books to check whether or not they actually have the capital. And this has now led to the part where government organizations like the CFTC, as the recent headlines have been stating, has issued a subpoena in regards to Tether to see if they really have the $2.3 billion they have and to see if there's any collusion there. To be fair with you all, again, like I said, I think there is not the money there, and I think that if the subpoena goes through, they're going to figure out that the capital is not there. It just seems too good to be true, and the reason being that I say that is because if you go to the Omni Explorer, where you can see Tether Limited printing new tethers into circulation, you can see that on this these short-term bursts and periods over time, they produce ridiculous amounts of tether. I'm talking, as you can see here, hundreds of millions of tethers, sometimes on a daily basis within any given week. And because of that, I think that they honestly don't have the capital they have in reserves. Now, to be fair with you all, I don't have any evidence pointing towards the fact that they don't, but this is why markets are a little bit fearful that Tether is now having been issued a subpoena and is now going to be analyzed in regards to whether or not it actually has the capital in some bank somewhere in the world to back all these digital coins. And the reason I think a lot of people are fearful about that is because the numbers are ridiculous. It's obvious that they probably don't have the money there. And now I've already given them the benefit of the doubt in regards to, let's see what happens with the subpoena. And obviously they've been cut out of the traditional finance system. It's understandable. But at the same time, guys, this has been what I've been talking about in regards to being a ticking time bomb. And this was eventually going to come back around. When you have numbers like this where there's hundreds of millions of Tether being generated, this is not something that's going to get brushed off forever. So it's understandable that federal agencies would want to look into this. And again, it's not like other cryptocurrencies, guys. There is a trust factor. So just like with BitConnect, though I don't want to compare it to that, I don't think it goes that low. But BitConnect itself was a trusted cryptocurrency. There was a trusted platform with a trusted company. And it's the same going for Tether here. So it can, on a dime, just like that, disappear overnight. Exchanges might have to stop trading it. Everyone might lose their funds. Tether might go to zero tomorrow if it turns out that they go through the subpoena and figure out they don't have the money. Now, I don't want to FUD. Again, guys, we got to keep a level head in this regard. It's just a big topic, and I guess I kind of get flustered talking about it. But the thing is, I can tell you all, if you want my opinion on it, that there is a high chance that they don't have the funds. I know personally I have not traded or invested in Tether. The only Tether that I have comes from my Binance referral link when other people trade it. It's a very small amount. I would really never use Tether. And if you're going to use Tether, I'd recommend that you keep it in Tether for a very short period of time. Again, I don't advise using it, but if you have to, do it for a short period of time, because you do not want to have a large portion of your capital. I'm talking tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if that's how big your portfolio is in regards to Tether, and even a few $100s that could instantly vanish in a second if Tether goes to nothing tomorrow. So again, keeping a close eye on this. We'll keep talking about it. I don't want to FUD guys, but again, it's something you have to keep worried about. It's much more different than other cryptocurrencies that are decentralized and trustless. This system is trusted. They can print as much Tether as they want, and they're the only ones who can issue and print it. And because of that, we have to have the trust factor that they've got the capital back somewhere in a bank vault, at least from what they're telling us. But again, there's a lot of arguments that they either use reserves and other things like that. But again, there's not much to debate here. It's just as simple as whether or not you guys want to use it or if you don't. And if it goes bust tomorrow, it's going to be pretty negative for crypto markets. And I'll tell you why, real quick, why that would be bad. You not only have a lot of trading volume in the crypto markets based off of Tether, $3.7 billion out of the $30 billion that we have right now, but along with that as well, Tether itself is tied towards the largest Bitcoin trading volume exchange out there on the market on a consistent basis, and that is Bitfinex. Okay, guys? So, OKX's USD Tether market has actually been, that's interesting. That changed actually over the past few hours. But I do want to emphasize, guys, again, this is a lot of capital allocation in Bitfinex. Over billions of dollars are traded in Bitfinex's exchange on a daily basis. And if it turns out Tether Limited goes bust, that's one thing. But they have deep ties with Bitfinex. And if Bitfinex gets issued a subpoena or gets some sort of regulated crackdown, this could mean not just a takedown on Tether, but the holdings behind Bitfinex. So just be cautious, guys. Again, think about this in the grand scheme of things. Some people are calling this the potential Mt. Gox 2.0. I'm not going to go that far to say that, but this could very well turn out to be something much larger, and this could make the perfect storm for what we need in regards to a prolonged cryptocurrency bear market. I don't think it'll turn out to be all that crazy and stuff, but I do think it's going to stir up markets for the next month, and that's why, again, we've got our catalyst here, so I'm keeping quite protective for the month of February. But on a more positive note, and stepping out of all the Tether controversy, there's been some really, really awesome news, and I've been meaning to talk about this on the Data Dash channel. A few days ago, a very famous mobile app, Robinhood, or a actual stock trading app that I've used myself, came out with an announcement that they're going to allow cryptocurrency trading soon in both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, I was extremely excited to talk about this. I literally was dying not being able to talk about it or do a video discussing it. However, I can talk about it today, and I'm not only excited for it, but you can obviously see from the headline that other people are excited about it too. Over 1 million people are waiting in line for Robinhood's new crypto trading feature, and it doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because Robinhood has a very unique factor to it. Actually, I'd say two. It's extremely simple to use comparative to other exchanges. It's simple, you can buy and sell, but you can buy and sell in any quantity and not have to face commissions, fees. Those things we have to continuously pay on Coinbase, on Gemini, and every other crypto exchange out there. Yeah, it sucks. Well, Robinhood, a very well-known and trusted exchange, again, like I said, I've used it myself back when I used to trade stocks, is now going to allow people to trade fiat with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And they're doing this through a third-party trusted crypto exchange. So because of that, I don't think you'll actually be able to, claim your Bitcoin and send it off somewhere. It's just going to be simple cash pairings and trading. But again, that's really all you need, guys, because most people just want to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. They want to get a piece of the action. And to give retail adopters that easy path to do it without fees and without the burden and time consumption that it takes to open up a general exchange account. If you already have a Robinhood, which many people I know my age have already on their phones, the fact that they're going to have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum is going to be huge. I can't emphasize it enough. So I already know I've registered for it. I hope I get it soon enough, but again, 1 million people, it's going to take some time. But anyways, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have something that I missed, please leave it down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And again, I do want to apologize for the genuine lack of content, guys. I really am trying to produce as much content as I can, but between planning for the events and running into small technical difficulties, it's hard to keep up with all of it. But I'm going to do as much as I can for you guys, and I'm excited to see some of you along the way on the road as I go on my journey. All right? Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below if there's something I missed or something that you're watching the market, or if you've got an opinion on Tether. But until then, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.